What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video a part. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because for this video, we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite movies of all time, and that would be The Grey. So The Grey was released back in 2012, and the story follows Liam Neeson, who plays a character who works for security at an oil rig in Alaska. And within the first 3 minutes of the movie, you realize that this character has been having thoughts about suicide. But when he and several workers are on the way home, their plane crashes in the middle of nowhere. And then from then on, this becomes a survivor movie where not only does Liam Neeson have to fight off against the freezing temperatures of Alaska, but he also has to fend off against several wolves that are consistently hunting down the survivors of the crash. Speaking of survivors, one of the best things about this movie is that within the first few minutes of it, the film does highlight several characters that will survive the crash, but to Liam Neeson's character and to the audience as well, these are just complete and total strangers. But as the movie progresses, we do get to learn more about each of the survivors, and one of the best examples is Frank Grill's character, who at first is a bit of a jerk in the first act of the film, but as we get into the third act, we see this character go through a complete and total transformation as he is now more open and thoughtful to others. One other thing I also like about this movie is the soundtrack. Honestly, Mark Streitenfeld knocked out of the park on this one, because after I first saw this movie in 2012, I immediately downloaded most of the soundtrack. When you hear the music, you feel a sense of solitude, sorrow, but also hope. And throughout the movie, never does the music intensify into a big scale orchestra epic. From beginning to end, the music keeps its small, subtle tone as you see some of these blue-collar workers make their peace with God in this terrible situation that they are in. Okay, since I mentioned it, I have to talk about the ending. Without giving away any spoilers, I will say that while I did enjoy the movie, the ending, however, is a bit of a downer. Again, without giving away spoilers, I will say that throughout the movie, you do feel a sense of helplessness as you're watching some of these characters get killed off by the wolves. But as you're watching the movie, you do keep telling yourself that eventually these guys are going to get found, they're going to get rescued, and they'll finally be able to go home. But as you get to the end of the movie, you see Liam Neeson's character get pushed to his limits. And just when things couldn't get worse, the movie decides throwing one last challenge for him. And as the music builds up and the scene is hyping you up with this big moment, the movie just ends abruptly. And as you watch the credits go by at the end of the movie, you're like, wait, that's it? What the f? However, there is an after credit scene, but when you watch it, you feel the movie just robbed you of something that would have redeemed the ending. But despite the ending, for the majority of it, I really enjoyed this movie. And if you watch one of my Talk Around the Block videos, you'll know that I had this movie among one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. That was my overall review for The Grey. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button so you always updates from this channel. I'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.